For this song, we are playing notes on both strings. Let's learn part 1. Using half notes, we are walking down in pitch, starting with G to F to E on the first string, followed by D, then C on the second string, back to the open E string, and on the C for a whole note. Part 2 starts using half notes to play G, F, E, and back to F and G, all on the first string. Then you play the open B on the second string and end on G for a whole note. Now let's put it together, starting on part 1, then part 2, then part 1 again for the ending. Here it is at 50 BPM, and again at 100 BPM. So far, we have only been playing one note at a time, which is called melody. Now we are going to play two different notes together, which is called harmony. Using the notes we've already learned, let's play the C note on the second string, first fret, along with the E note on the first string open. First, get your fingers in place using your first finger or index finger of your playing hand to play the C note. Next, strum the second and first string together in one downward stroke. Just put your pick right above the second string and let her rip. How did you do? Could you hear both notes ringing out? If not, you might be muting the E note with the bottom part of your index finger. When you hold the C note on the second string, first fret, you have to make sure your fingers are clear of the first string. You might have to roll your wrist forward so your index finger stands straight up on top of the C note, touching only the second string. This position might sting a little at first, but you will get used to it. The more you play, the stronger the tips of your fingers become, so keep playing. I'd like to point out that I've taught children as young as 4 years old through adults up to 86 years old. If they can do it, you can too. Our next partial chord is the G chord. If you had trouble with the C, the G chord will be a lot easier. We're going to play the B note on the second string open, along with the G note on the first string by placing our third finger on the third fret. Make sure your third finger is only touching the G note on the first string, then strum both strings together. Put your pick right above the second string and strum down, hitting both strings. Now we are going to take our song on strings 1 and 2 and put our chords at the end of each part. Here is part 1 with our C chord. The first 2 measures are the same. Playing half notes, we are walking down to the C chord from the notes G to F to E on the first string, followed by D on the second string. While playing the D note, get your index finger in place to play your C chord with whole notes for the last 2 measures. And here's part 2 with our G chord. The first 2 measures use half notes to play G, F, E, and back to F, all on the first string. Then we strum our G chord for the last 2 measures. Now let's put it together, starting on part 1, then part 2, and then part 1 again for the ending. Starting out slowly at 50 BPM, then again at 100 BPM. Here's a song